What are the biggest threats to your retirement? It's different for everyone, but today we're looking to combat the twin challenges of inflation and volatility. These two forces can impact your wealth and create uncertainty for your future. So today, Megan Jones is here to share strategies to potentially conquer these twin challenges and also help you keep your finances resilient. Welcome to Money Matters with Megan Jones. I'm Danielle Martin. Megan, it's always great to be here with you. How are you feeling?
I feel good today. Thanks, Danielle. How about you?
Feeling amazing because we are talking today about inflation and volatility. So these are really big topics right now that's going on in the world. They're really a double-edged sword for retirees. A lot of people don't know what to think, where to start. Can I tackle this? Where do we begin today? So let's start with, how do you help people tackle these twin challenges?
So you could keep talking about twin challenges. I don't know if you know this, Danielle, but I'm a twin.
Yes, I do know that. You and your brother?
I do. I have a twin brother. He's actually an advisor with us here at Jones Advisory Group. He runs our Kansas City office. And so a lot of times we'll say, twin powers, activate. So if you can make them as twin powers and look on the good sides of what we can do for them, maybe we can incorporate some good strategies. So the first part of it, though, is that we have to understand your finances. We need to look and see how inflation and or market volatility can impact what you've already accumulated. And so as we go through there, we're going to look at just not only those challenges, but other challenges as well. We want to make sure that we can preserve what we've created and what we have worked for all of our life, but that it can give us the lifestyle that we've always wanted. And how do we do that? How do we make sure that our purchasing power isn't diminished by inflation? And we all know that inflation is going to happen. I mean, I'm guessing that some people drive a car that costs more than maybe their first house. Like, that's inflation. Actually, I think my husband and I are maybe in that category, right? Because 30 years ago, what did it look like and what does it look like today? So we have to understand that strategies need to be put in place to account for it. So we can do that. We just have to make sure that we're mindful with it.
Yeah, it sounds like this is a lot to think about, especially for a retiree. I think the number one thing on people's minds is, how do I make sure I don't run out of money, right? But right now, this might be a weird question, but how do you talk to your clients and retirees about planning for both of them, inflation and volatility at the same time?
Well, if you think about it in terms of just tackling one thing versus the other, you might miss some things. I like to look at them together because we know that they're going to happen. And so one of the best ways to fight inflation is by investing in a market-driven investment, like a stock or maybe a mutual fund. And sometimes people will say, I need to take on more risk to be able to combat it. But I would say we have to just be mindful about taking on too much risk. A lot of our families are invested in such a way that they've got money in multiple different avenues, multiple different strategies. It's not one size fits all. It's, let's invest in some things that have some principal preservation. Let's look at investments that might have some more growth opportunity. And then let's look at some investments that maybe are just, they're maybe not a high growth account, but I can get access to them because I need that liquidity. And so it's making sure that we have all those things working together in concert to create a plan that works for you. Inflation and market volatility are always going to be there. I mean, there's never a time in which the market doesn't go up or down. I mean, P.S., that's what it does, right? I mean, it's not a secret. No. It's just, it is what it is. Yeah. But we just have to make sure that where we invest our money, we're comfortable with that type of risk. And so walking our families through that is going to be really important.
Right. And I think you just hit the nail on it. It's like being prepared for that type of risk, right? Because like I said, people are worried about income during retirement. So you're telling people to be comfortable spending your money, go enjoy your life, but we also have to prepare for these challenges. So how do you make them get more, I would say, a little bit more confident in spending their money while also preparing for these two types of twin challenges?
It's not a do one or the other. And I would say, yes, it's hard for families sometimes to make that transition to spending their wealth versus accumulating their wealth. I mean, while I'm working, I'm putting money in a retirement account, I'm saving it for this thing called retirement. And then once I get there, it's a mindset shift to then allow them the opportunity or to almost give them permission to spend their own money. So we want them to enjoy their funds, but we also want to make sure that they're not going through them so quickly or risking too much, or that they haven't accounted for inflation so that they're in a position where their money could potentially run out. So it's this constant balancing act, right? Between fear and greed, between saving and spending, between now or later. And so it's our job to help kind of mitigate all of that and navigate it and find a way for them to all work together versus them being in conflict with each other.
Yeah, you said it right, balancing, right? How do we, it's like life and career balance. Like, how do we do the same thing at the same time?
Yeah,
But
but with most people, at least for me, sometimes I feel like if I'm doing really good at work, I'm not doing as good at home. Or if I'm doing really good with my health, maybe I'm not doing as good with my finances. Or, you know, there's always all these things. And we all have so many pressures and things pulling us in different directions. And I would say, if you find a team, a financial planning team that can take that off your shoulders so that you're not at least worried about that piece of it, then you can focus on some of the other things and let us plan and do what we do, which is making sure that that financial plan is in place to account for both of those things, inflation and market volatility.
well, Megan, this is why you're here, to make everything sound very simple for us.